static crackles through the air tonight, as black leather boots strike pavement bright. The figure stalks with measured grace, a dark silhouette without a face. Time stands still when they appear. Every breath brings death so near. They're coming. Death is calling, can't you hear? The final toll rings crystal clear. No place to run, no place to hide, when darkness comes to claim its prize. Metal screams and engines roar as pale hands reach for your door. The final dance begins to play, while mortal souls just fade away. They're watching. Cold wind howls through empty streets. Is coming. Your heart pounds out its final beat. Is coming. No escape now. The grim is coming. Tick tock, your time is up. Tick tock, the reapers go. Death is calling, hear it loud. Your fate sealed beneath that shroud. No prayers left, no time to run, when darkness claims another one. The grim is coming. The grim is coming. The grim is coming. The grim is here.
Good evening, and welcome to the 8 o'clock show. This actually gone live, unlike a certain BBA who has said he's going live for 3 nights on the trot and didn't. So I decided to, especially after I heard the news. One of those things. Just want to say hi to Anne-Marie, my gorgeous wife, who will be joining us in a second. And Joko, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. So let's bring the missus up. Hello.
Hello, Graham. How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm fine.
Good.
Honestly.
Good. And BA hasn't done 3 lives on a row, has he not?
No, it's just one of those things, you know.
You remember what the agreement was, don't you?
Yes, I do. And don't worry, I will be
Okay,
having...
no more needs to be said.
Exactly. Right. Anne-Marie, at least I was on time. Well, not only on time, but actually on the day it was advertised for, which is strange for me, I know. So what do you think about the news today, Mrs. Reaper?
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked by it. It was on the cards. We knew it was coming. I think it was talking about the Prime Minister stepping down.
Keir Starmer. Yes.
yeah. Hi, everybody in the chat. Nice to see you all. And Anne-Marie. I wasn't surprised by the news. I knew when I saw there was going to be an announcement today that it was going to be along that lines. And we'll just see what happens. It's a watch this space at the moment because it doesn't seem to me that it matters who gets in. We're still in trillions of pounds worth of debt, this country. We've got a massive crisis with the cost of living for the ordinary people that actually work for a living. So I don't do politics, but I do have some thoughts on what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, well, thanks for your input. I mean, I wasn't thinking so much of getting into a political debate. Really? Yeah, I was.
No, I'm not. I don't do
that actually would, yeah, but that would depend on whether, I mean, the debate is where two people disagree, you know. Whereas I'm more likely to turn around and say, yeah, and
yeah, my view's not particularly on a political side. I'll be honest. Well, it's more from an ordinary person that has to manage on a daily basis in a country where there's a lot of stuff out of stock when you try and get it now. And it seems to me that since COVID and coming out of Europe at around the same time and everything, we've been hit really hard, and it's going to take time to get back on our feet.
Yeah, there you go. I knew someone would start it. To Keir Starmer. I wish they would go without the money they get after, though. I agree totally. It's still going to cost.
They're overpaid and overstated, all of them. Overpaid.
Yeah, but with Keir Starmer or any ex-prime minister, they're entitled to a certain amount of monies being paid to them, which still comes out of the tax we pay. I'm just wondering, from a point of view of being totally neutral, because I really don't care, who's likely to become the next leader of the Labour Party? I won't say Prime Minister at this present moment in time, because Keir Starmer is stepping down as the leader of the Labour Party. I can hear an echo somewhere. Right, it's gone. And just lost track then.
Well,
so I'm trying to think. Where was I? Sorry, I always do this.
We're talking about who's going to be the next leader for the Labour Party, and I think that's really obvious who they want, because they've already sworn Andy Burnham.
Yes, that was where I was going to go. Really? Thank you, Mrs. Reaper. She reads my mind even from a different part of the house. Yeah, I do like the honesty. He couldn't lead his own ass to the shit, and never mind the country. That's because he's from Manchester, allegedly.
Allegedly. Not everybody's thick in Manchester, Graham, if you don't mind. I'm a Manchester lass, born and bred.
I didn't say that. There's history between me, Anne-Marie and Manchester. She doesn't like him. She's a Scouser. Well, okay, a plastic Scout.
And my silence says it all.
No, no. At the end of the day, I'll tell you what. The last decent prime minister we had, Labour prime minister and leader of the Labour Party, who actually believed in the working class, was Harold Wilson.
Oh yes, I was around in the 70s. He was
late 60s into the 70s. Before
I remember him.
Yeah.
He became a third, didn't he? He got 90.
Yeah, he has and is still the longest standing prime minister.
Yeah.
In my memory, anyway. Whether it's factual or not, that's another thing entirely. But Keir Starmer, funnily enough, is the shortest reigning prime minister for the Labour Party. So whoever comes in next is going to theoretically take the Labour Party into the next general election with the hope that they can regain confidence from the voter and be put back in government, you know.
Oh, wow.
And Marie, I know somebody who missed how a country should be run. Oh, well, never mind.
The beauty of youth, that they're so innocent. In the 70s, one of the biggest things I remember, apart from Wilson, was the hot summers of 76. That was an amazing summer. I was discussing it earlier, the water pipe bans and the patrols out that were fining people for using hose pipes on the gardens. It was really, really hot.
Yes. A little bit reminiscent there,
as well, but I've lost it now.
Yeah, with the weather the way it is, we moved on to the weather again, folks. It's hot and sunny, and it brings back memories for those who are old enough, you know, to appreciate what we had before. But getting back to what I was trying to say, does it make a blind bit of difference to the country who the next prime minister is in name? Because I say that the Conservatives got away with it without having a general election for quite a few prime ministers where there was changes made, right? And they actually hold the record for the shortest ever prime minister, which was for 48 days. Someone called Theresa May.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So, you know, both of the major parties say roughly have similar sort of records somewhere along the line. I did read about that recently in the droughts of 76 and the limits on how much water you could use. Oh, yes. Remember it so well. What's this? Here we go. Oh, hello, Mama Bear. I agree. 666. They don't deserve to be paid.
So right, Mama Bear. You're so right, my darling.
Hang on a second.
Hey, Mama Bear.
I was trying to check something because I've got a slight issue with why is it gone the way it is? There we go. That's a bit better. Right. So it doesn't make a blind bit of difference to me who it is, because they are now inheriting legislation which is currently being proposed and being put through, right? For such as digital ID, the Online Security Act, which is designed to protect children and the state. Because under that act, they put in a few little things like you can't say no, you must comply, etc. And also another little provision, if it goes through, which means that the government can make any changes to the act by putting in a regulation without it having to go before the House of Commons. So any Home Secretary can change that act and can turn around and say anybody over the age of 21 can no longer have access to the internet. They can do whatever they want because of that little clause. It's highly unlikely, you know. Rise Above is right. They can't protect kids. The other thing is they want to become the parents of teenagers and children by putting in a blanket ban after a certain time for them to be able, for children to be able to access the internet, rather than putting it on the parents where it should be. Now, if there was evidence to say that the parents were allowing their children access to adult material, etc., the dark web and all the rest of it, right, then I would say there's laws already in place for such an investigation to happen and to protect the children if that is the case. No problem. So why do we need more? We don't. And then, of course, there's certain rights which they want to take away from us, like the freedom of expression, by putting people like me and others who are in the UK, Great Britain, including Northern Ireland, on the inside of bars for things that they may say or type or put into a what's the word, into a social media blog, right? Because if somebody gets hurty feelings about it, right, then they get put inside because of it, because it could have generated alarm, harassment and distress to unknown members of the public and the government. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going to go with that one. So simple as that. Okay, so Anne-Marie has got a very intelligent question. How is it going to work when kids have to do their homework on time and everything is edging towards being online? Very good question. I'll tell you how they're going to do it, because it wouldn't necessarily be online. It would be access to the school's own internal intranet system. And whatever's on there, they will be able to get the answers for their homework, because it has to be linked to the syllabus that they're taking. That's how they did it during the lockdowns, and they forced all schools to close. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a couple of minutes, because otherwise Mrs. Reaper's not going to be able to get a word in.
Oh, you remembered I was there then?
Absolutely.
It's some very interesting points. But as you know, I don't do politics, and I'm, to be honest, Grim, I'm not feeling too good. So I'm gonna go and lie down for a bit.
Okay, dokie.
But it's been great being on the show. It's lovely to see you all and say hello. And I enjoyed that conversation. We never talk about politics at home between us, but occasionally it's good to hear of you. Enjoyed it.
All right, I shall see you later.
I will see you later. Have a great live. Everybody have a great time, and I'll catch you on the flip side. See you later.
See you later. Bye. And with that, she's gone. Okay, folks. Yeah, so I put the link out. I'm going to see if I can pin it to the top. So it's still there. There we go. Right. So anybody who wants to come up, please do. Okay. Normal security checks. And if you think the governments are bad. But yes, I mean, here's a good one for you. Burnham has spoken against the digital ID. Yes. Whether or not he can stop it is another thing entirely. You know, I mean, he could theoretically pull the plug, and a couple of other things that they brought in, like the online safety bill, etc., which infringes on human rights. They were never elected to do that. You know. And you know, I don't know why they do it now. They provide paperwork, and they also, but I didn't see parents getting paid to do what. No, not only that, but you also had to ensure that children followed the rules during COVID while looking after them. So if you go to work and you've got children under the age of 14, then you have to have a minder for them. So if you're a lone parent, how can you do that, for starters? Or where both parents are there. If they're both working, and usually one parent works around the school schedule, right? So they go to work when children are at school. That led to all sorts of problems. You know, I can't see how they're going to enforce it with the children. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back. Doesn't it get pinned to the top anymore? At the bottom of the chat, it's so annoying. I don't know what they've done, to be honest, with YouTube. Used to be pinned, but now, yeah, it's down at the bottom now. Oh, that's stupid. Maybe it's to do with all the different devices that YouTube's going to. Malabar. Berners indicates here that any broad regulation or blanket ban must weigh privacy violations and civil liberties to ensure digital rights. You do know that they threw all privacy out of the window when they constructed this original idea of a digital ID. As I've said many a time, the government of the day elected to have all the software produced and designed in Romania. So all the safety checks that they put into place were done in Romania, which also has the biggest cyber scammers around. And they gave them the access to build it on their mainframe. Which is interesting, because how much has actually already been taken from that mainframe? You know? Questionable. Yeah, so anybody wants to come up, it's pinned at the bottom, not at the top anymore. Thanks for pointing that out, Anne-Marie. I forever forget things like that. It is annoying, but it's also convenient. So that's all I wanted to talk about, really, because I just wondered, you know, who's going to become the next prime minister? Is it going to be somebody that's actually going to do something for the country and put in proper restrictions and treat the migrants that come over illegally in line with their human rights, but not at the taxpayer's expense? So when they come over, they need somewhere to stay, cordon off an area, give them a load of tents, etc., things to keep them warm, and heavy security, and contain them until such time as they're processed, rather than doing what they're doing in Wales, which is to rehouse them from wherever they are at the moment into the community and multi-dwelling occupancies, you know? And that's also going to be the situation which is probably going to be rolled out in England and Scotland and in Northern Ireland, because this is a directive which has come from the government. So I doubt anything is going to change. I haven't seen real change since Margaret Thatcher made the real change. And since then, everybody has followed like sheep with all the policies, with all the law changes. It's always been to attack the public. And now it's getting even worse. And I've just been doing a little bit of research around what the legislation says and what is classed as reasonable under the law in regards to holding the police accountable from a public space. And I was a bit surprised, honestly, to find that most of the things that the police do are unlawful, or they abuse what little powers they think they have. So, yeah. So nothing's going to change, folks. Why do we need to have a new leader of the Labour Party? Because that's what the process says you have to have. Now, what I would like to see is that that process is extended to the general public, and as a result of the change of power, that automatically sparks a general election within a reasonable time frame, and that time frame is within, I would say, within a 6-month period. Because you, as an individual who has the right to vote, should be allowed to pick your rulers. It's a democracy, after all, allegedly. But on other news, oh yeah, Keir Starmer is resigning and is going to be a shadow prime minister until the election stuff is over and a new prime minister is installed in line with normal process. So officially he stands down, I think he said on the 9th of July, is it January? July, and it's all got to be over and done with by September, which is reasonable. So they get to pick the new puppet master, whether it be Andy Burnham or somebody else. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mama Bear. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Things are you okay for you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm doing
Okay.
good.
Good. That's all I need to know. Right. So, what's your take on this political farce?
It's 50-50. You know, I have a feeling if a politician is opening their mouth, they're talking out of one hole or the other. They're either talking out of their mouth or they're talking out of their asshole.
Yeah. I have to agree with that. I also agree with Anne-Marie, and you know what? Either she's starting to think like me, or the other way around. It should be automatic upon the resignation that a general election is held, and it should be an option, as it seems it is. Well, it shouldn't be an option. It is an option. That's the trouble.
Right. Hey, Mellows, come on up.
Mellows, the link is at the bottom of the page, pinned.
I think there should be a general election. You guys, as a country, should be able to pick who you have. Here in the U.S., we have a general election. The only time we don't is when they pass away. Then the vice president takes over. But we also vote for our vice president. We have a president and a vice president. You guys do not.
No, we don't. Well, we don't vote for the deputy prime minister. No, the deputy prime minister.
You guys should.
Yeah, Well, I agree totally. I agree that we should have more rights than we do, but we don't.
You guys should be able to vote for your president and your vice president, which is your prime minister and your vice prime minister, whatever you guys call it. You guys should have that right. Do I honestly, Burnham has changed stories. I'm going to be honest with you. I've done some research in the last couple of days. He first said no on all illegals. Then he said, oh, we're going to stop the votes, but the ones here, we're going to allow them to stay and work with them. That I don't agree with. You're here illegal. Let's do something about this. Just like here in the United States, you come here legally, we're going to work with you. You come here illegally under the asylum, and they just handed out people and did not check them. We have found out we have a lot of illegal people here that should not be here in our country. Let's do something about them. And, you know, we've got murderers here. We've got some people that should not be here in our country.
I'm not talking about political undesirables. You're talking about the threat to individuals.
And we've got people here that are rapists. They should not be in our country.
Agreed.
Just like you guys have them in your country. Mm-hmm. They should not have ever even been allowed into your country. That should be gone. And if Burnham's going to do something about them, fine. If they're not, you guys still have the problem.
Yeah, the problem's not going to go away that easily and that quickly, because
here in our country, do you guys get somebody that's going to step up and do something about it? Do I believe Trump has done all this the right way? No, I do not. Things have not all been done right.
No, I agree, but something's been done.
So things need to be done the right way, and things have done the wrong way. And and that's where I get off saying, if a politician is opening their mouth, they're talking out of one or the other hole. They're talking either out of their ass or they're talking out of their mouth. So
it's the same for all politicians.
Which one to believe?
Yeah. I just want to say hi to Wingnut. Thanks for dropping in. And a special hello, because he's awake. Mellows.
Hello everyone.
Hey, Mo.
Hello.
So you don't know which way to believe any politician nowadays. I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or in your case, Labor or
Conservative.
So who do you believe anymore?
Well, I've never believed a politician.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for myself, folks, but I've never believed a politician because of the fact that, well, they always lie. And then when they get found out, they hate it. You know what I mean? Mellows, I think your mic it sounds a bit windy.
We've got the fan going on here.
I'm going to give you guys a perfect scenario today. I sat on Facebook and on the news channel today. We have a homeless crisis here in New York. And this morning, I sat, and as 6 o'clock this morning, I was watching on the news. I could see the smoke bellowing. We had a homeless hotel burn this morning here in my area. And unfortunately, there was fatalities in the homeless hotel. As of right now, there has been 2 confirmed deaths in the homeless hotel. They are still looking for more fatalities. 2 people were transported to the hospital. There is numerous families who have nothing now that lived in this homeless shelter. But they are looking for a complete family that they don't know where is. They don't know if they were in the hotel or not. So, but they just took out a whole city block of apartments to build housing for the college. That displaced a whole shitload of Section 8 housing to build college dorms and college apartments that displaced people, that made them homeless, to build a high rise for college kids, that made another section of people homeless. In Chicago, they took national land, park land, and put an Obama building up, as well as took out Section 8 housing. In the middle of Section 8 housing projects in national parkland to put in Obama's presidency. And there's left billions of Black construction workers unpaid. Now they are filing bankruptcy on their company because they have not been paid. This is why I say you don't believe the politician, that they're paying bills and they're paying things because they're not being paid.
Well, I just don't believe a politician.
So,
but that's down to the individual.
you say you're a great politician, but you're not a great politician because you don't pay your bills, even if you're out of office. You say you're protecting homeless, but you're not protecting homeless because you're building buildings where the poor live, because you're not protecting the poor. The vulnerable people in this society are being thrown out and discarded, and you're not taking care of them. So you're not taking care of the sick, the elderly, and the poor, but you're protecting the rich. And you're bringing in people that you want the votes from.
Okay, so everything you said is true, and the way that they see it is they are a great politician because they're not doing what the people want, they're doing what their masters want, i.e. the rich.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them a great politician, honest.
It's so sad. And now you look out in LA, what's happened in LA the last few weeks, a big medical facility warehouse burnt. Now there's a big meat warehouse in the center of LA on fire. It's been on fire now for 7 days. With great big, the whole roof was covered with solar panels that was being worked on that caused the fire.
Right.
Sound great, don't it?
I just think that with everything that's going on in the world in this day and age, right, we've got more important things to consider, but we also need to consider how we treat people in society. And we need to protect the vulnerable. That should be the first rule of any state-governed country.
And
The
where this
state should
warehouse
protect
is,
the vulnerable.
where this warehouse is, it's square dab in the middle of the poorest parts, some of the poorest parts of LA.
Yeah. Well, that's not keeping the vulnerable safe in any way. Okay.
I wrote a little rant on Facebook about 6 years ago. I'll send it over and you can read it out.
Now, you got to tell me, and Anne-Marie, some of these hotels where they're putting all these, and you guys know more about the area over there, are not in the richest parts of UK.
Well, My problem with authority is that authority is meant to be transparent, and it's not. And when I say authority, I'm talking about the people who make the laws, etc. Wow. Okay, that's a lot to read out. Imagine a world where every human body part, every organ, every blood type can be sourced from the endless catalogue of people as an industry supply chain built from human lives. Imagine a future where even children become commodities, trade, selected and consumed by society that has forgotten the difference between care and ownership. An app for every desire, a marketplace for every vice, a game for human beings to reduce to collectibles. Imagine that a world scaled across the entire planet, take the darkest chapters of human history and camps, the ghettos, the machinery of dehumanization, and supply them tenfold, not in one nation, but in every one. There's a thought. And the list goes on.
I can read it out for you if you want.
If you don't mind, I've had a crack at it.
Yeah. All right, imagine a world where every human body part, every organ, every blood type can be sourced from an endless catalogue of people, an industry supply chain built from human lives. Imagine a future where even children become commodities, traded, selected, and consumed by society that has forgotten the difference between care and ownership. An app for every desire, a marketplace for every vice, a game where human beings are reduced to collectibles. Now imagine that world scaled across the entire planet. Take the darkest chapters of human history, the camps, the ghettos, the machinery of dehumanization, and multiply them tenfold. Not in one nation, not in one era, but everywhere. Society fractures into two camps. On one side are those who have the compliant, the obedient, the people who rush to embrace every new change presented as freedom. They accept the system without question, celebrate it, defend it, and police anyone who dares challenge it. Behind their walls and gated communities, they convince themselves that they are safe. On the other side are those who refuse, those who reject the madness, who refuse to surrender their autonomy, their dignity, their humanity. They become outsiders in a world increasingly hostile to independent thought. The divide grows wider every year. More walls, more checkpoints, more surveillance, more armed guards in the streets, more people blindly marching to a rhythm that they never chose, enforcing rules they barely understand. And while most people remain distracted, the foundations of this future are quietly being laid. Are you ready for that world? Because it is ready for you. It's already moving toward you. Every day spent dismissing the warning signs, every day spent refusing to question the direction of society brings that future one step closer, not only to you, but to your children and everyone who comes after you. The future doesn't need your permission. It only needs your indifference.
So true.
And that's my warning to you, to everyone.
Hey,
Sorry about that. I was listening. I just had to make a brew. That was all. Yeah. Actually, can I just say, I think we're living that already.
Yes.
I mean, I can't say for the US, but are you aware that anywhere within Great Britain, you have an internet connection, your provider for that connection has to keep a log of every single place you've ever been for a 12-month period. And the reason for this is in case there is a police investigation. That came into effect 10 years ago. So it's already happening, folks. And it's just one of those things that we've signed our rights away because we've allowed the politicians to snoop on us.
Nope.
Legally. Because the law says so, folks.
Oh, yeah. You can't travel anywhere without everybody finding everything out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about what's online. So I'm talking about where, how long you've been on a website, what website you've been to.
I get notified every time, every Sunday I get notified your hours, the amount of time I was online.
Yeah. But what over here, they don't just store that; they store what websites you've been to.
Oh, I get notified how long I was on every website.
Right. Okay.
No,
so
I get notified of it.
Yeah. The question I would say is, how long is that kept by your service provider?
I don't know, but I get notified every week of how long I was on every website.
Well, I can't say. I think on any laptop it's the same. You can check, not necessarily the website, but what the gigabyte usage is and things like this. Your phone will do that for you because we all know your phone's spying on you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you either accept it or you question it. And if you question it, you're not happy about it. I always question it because I'm not happy about it. I don't think they should have the right to store what websites I've gone to, visited, etc. I think that's personal to me. But what they're saying is they're storing it for a particular use for any police investigation so that they can just get a warrant for it to be handed over without you even knowing about it, without even knowing that there's an investigation going on. Because it's not until they can put the dots together and come up with 97 from 1 + 1 that they will knock on your door and tell you that they're going to see all your stuff.
They're bypassing the need for warrants, where they get a massive bulk warrant for everyone's information.
Yeah.
In the US, there's no single federal law dictating how long servers must provide data.
No,
there's no federal law. There is no federal law in the US.
Right, so that means they could keep it for 30 days less, whatever they feel like, basically.
Right.
Okay.
IP address connections, whatever, anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It's
a typical time.
It's typically. Generally, servers frequently rotate or delete after 30 days, websites and cloud servers.
Right. So wouldn't it be interesting?
HIPAA is 6 years. Financial services is 7 years.
That'll be to do with credit checks, presumably.
Yeah. Well, no, 7 years for financial. That is for that is because of the IRS.
Yeah, tax. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, hardware lifespans is 4 to 6 years because that's usually the lifespans of usually the storage of your hardware. So, but few days for, but typically it's regulated on financial and medical records, but internet is 6 months to 2 years for operational and billing purposes, but there is no federal regulations.
Right. So obviously they need to bill you on a monthly basis, etc., or whatever the term is, and there'll be terms and conditions that you have to comply to. But, okay, so here would be a test, right, for both sides of the Atlantic or the pond, right? In the US, you got the freedom of information. Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody requested a copy of all the websites that they have been to, that they have stored, right? And over here, we could use a subject data access request to ask the same question, but in the last 11 months. Because if you ask it for 12 months, they'll know what you're after. But it'd be interesting to see whether or not they would provide that information.
You are aware
even
that
though they store it.
That you are aware that there are tools that you can actually subscribe to that will remove all your data.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes. But it doesn't. But what I'm saying is, at the service providers in the UK are legally to store all information of all websites that you go to. So if you went to a VPN, for argument's sake, it would notice that you've gone and you've dropped off. You would be. They won't know where you've gone necessarily, right? But the point is that it's down to you whether you use a VPN. Down to you.
Now
The
Google
mic is going to be correctly then.
Private.
Now Google expanded their life to 6 years.
What's that for? And where?
Yeah,
Google.
Grim, your mic's
Right.
going to be correctly, man.
Oh dear. I'll come out and come back in.
And I think you just need to. It sounds like a loose connection or something.
Yeah, it can't be the connection. It's got to be the mic.
Right.
Give me a minute or two, and I'll try and sort something out. I'll come back in though first. All right.
And they also plan, or they're making noise about trying to ban VPNs in the UK, which is kind of ban to be accurate. Ban VPNs to under 16s, which is kind of almost impossible to police. Not without criminalizing every child, right? I mean, how do you enforce something like that without criminalizing every child? Suspect every child of having a VPN, so therefore you have the right to search their. That doesn't even make any sense. That's just overreach and overstepping, and they better just shut up and sit back down, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because fuck,
I'm back.
it's ridiculous.
Is it better?
It's better, yeah.
Okay.
I was saying, but you were saying about the VPNs, and I said
Yeah.
they actually had plans to ban VPNs from under 16s. But realistically, how the hell do you police that without criminalizing every child, suspecting them of having a VPN, so therefore you have the right to search them? I mean, that's so ridiculous and overreaching.
Yeah, but hang on a second. My understanding of that was that when this idea of putting times in and restrictions, etc., for children, what came back as general comments, right? As well, what happens if they sign in through their parents' account? What happens if their parents allow them to use a VPN? And
So
the
basically,
result
they're
is what you have touched on. They want to extend it so that if a household is found to be using a VPN and there are registered children at that address, then they can go in without a warrant.
So hang on a minute. You wanna provide your child, right, with the best, safest security measures, right? And you give them a mobile phone and you don't put a VPN on it. I mean, shit. I mean, the whole point of protecting your kid from these unwanted ads and all this shit and hackers and whatnot. And I mean, it's just counterproductive. And then what do? We criminalize the parents. I mean, how ridiculous is this? I mean, you're making laws and restrictions and limitations where they don't need to be, right? Why don't we just focus on protecting the children? Because they clearly, obviously don't want to protect the children. Otherwise, they wouldn't be protecting the PDFs and the fucking nonsense and all the other fuckers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't lie to me about protecting fucking children. I know more about protecting children than they will ever fucking know.
Yeah, but the thing is, don't you think that it's strange that in this day and age, the state wants to become the parents and take away parents' rights as well?
That's a complete overreach, right? A total, and only the compliant, docile, brainwashed morons would consent to that, right?
79%.
Shit,
No,
I mean, they fucking get everything wrong 99% of the time, right? Everything wrong. They overspend, they lie, they cheat, they fucking fuck everything up, and then we want them to look after our kids and tell us what to do with our kids. I mean, that's the fucking recipe waiting for a disaster.
I totally agree. And the other thing is the banning of smoking from a certain age, which will actually mean that within a generation, no adult would be smoking. Because they want to bring it in at the age of 15, you cannot have access to any tobacco, full stop.
Yeah. Again,
right?
Criminalizing people.
But then, hang on. Hear me out. And then as that 15-year-old becomes 16, 17, 18, etc., right, that original 15-year-old is where the start is. Because everybody underneath who is younger doesn't have the right to smoke, neither does, say, the 25-year-old, because it's been going for 10 years. So eventually it will eliminate the sale of tobacco with it anywhere in Great Britain as a result of this blank.
Wingardium Leviosa, just like that. Boom. All of a sudden.
And if you look at the last Labour manifesto, which they got into power on, the online safety bill wasn't on there. The digital ID wasn't on there. Right? The so-called safety child online bill wasn't there. These are laws that have never been put towards
I'll tell you what was there. I'll tell you exactly what was there. They put in special exemptions for themselves, right? So that they have this golden shield that protects them from any sort of online fucking surveillance or anything. That's what they put through just now, and they all passed it on both sides with unanimous consent that they are totally exempt from any surveillance methods, invasive surveillance methods that they've just voted in for the rest of us.
Yep.
Laws for thee.
Yes, but not for me. And that's the way. But whether it'll get past the Lords, that's another thing entirely. Unless they're allowed,
just like that.
But no, seriously, if anything is broken, it isn't the country; it is the government. And
Broken.
I
It's like
still
broken.
can't
It's working
see.
just fine.
Yeah, but what I can't see is how changing the figurehead, changing the mouthpiece, is going to work.
He doesn't have any power anyway. What's he going to do?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Hey, we've managed to bore everybody off, and it's on the hour. Fantastic. Oh, sorry.
Hey, listen,
People-
you invited the doom, right?
I think I opened the door that people didn't like.
The doom,
And there's
nobody
all-
likes what I've got to say. Nobody has ever liked what I've got to say. They've always called me mad, insane, stupid. I've had loads of fuck. I'll be here for a week trying to list out all the things that I've been called, right? But there's one thing I've always been consistent on. Is
right.
being right.
Sorry. Yeah, I am not right wing. I'm just right. You know, maybe old age is sort of catching up with me, and I'm looking at things from a different point of view. You know, why is the Social Security bill, the amount they pay out, why has that increased over the last 2 years? Why is it that they attack the people who need money because of a disability?
Truth
Are
is,
suddenly deemed as being fit?
yeah, truth is,
Why is
if you
why
tried
is
to
it?
report on that, right, I could give you an answer, but the answer wouldn't be very
Well, no, YouTube friendly. We'll save that one for Jitsi.
Yeah.
Where it's safe. Yeah, but the thing,
Let's put it this way: we all know about this two-tiered system, right? And it's not just a two-tier system; it's a multi-layer system, right?
Yeah.
To be true, right? And there are subjects, should we call them, right, within that society that have a benefit from these said multi-layer laws, right? And there are those that benefit from the benefit. So we've got to stamp out on the ones that don't deserve the benefits that some deserve more than others, if that makes sense.
yes,
Right? So there are those that are basically dependent on that benefit from the state, right? And they take a very large chunk of that benefit. But in order to mask that chunk, they have to include other less desirable, people in, so we can blame the other less desirable ones for, where we're wasting this money on. You know what I mean? So if anybody ever fucking comes along and says, hey, we're wasting all this money on these fucking useless cunts, then we can just point to them and say, yeah, there's all the useless cunts. It's not this lot over here, because we police things differently over here. Don't look at these ones who suck up the largest portion of those benefits, right? And I'm not even talking about those who work for the government, who get paid very well for very little, right?
I so far I can't disagree with what you're saying. But let's say from a grassroots point of view, okay, as an ordinary member of the public who is genuinely not really political, right? They get their paychecks on a monthly basis, weekly basis. They pay the mortgage, the rent, everything on time, until all of a sudden they're laid off or they have an injury, and then they become unemployable. However, new rules say that there are certain types of jobs that every disabled person can do. And that is what the disabled people should be concentrating on. All right? Unless you fall into a severe disability category, in which case we will just invite you to go for personal independence, and we'll give you the mobility award because you have no legs or arms anymore, But don't worry, when we do the review, we'll tell you that you're going to lose the mobility side. That's how stupid the system is.
To answer Anne-Marie's question, they have revised the oath, the oath of office, and they don't discriminate which religion specifically, as long as you believe in a God.
What if you don't?
Well, there's freedom of a religion, right? So if you have freedom of religion, and remember, members of parliament have more rights or more access to the rights than we do, right? So when they have freedom of speech, it's a little bit different to our freedom of speech.
Yeah,
and when they have freedom of religion,
privilege.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember, most of these people on the surface pretend to be Christians that are not Christians. They just pretend to be. There are many reasons why different cults, if you like, pretend to be Christians, because it's beneficial to them, right? Because they receive large tax deductions and charity, and to be frank, for the large part, the Christian community is pretty much very easy to manipulate for most people who know how to manipulate. They are gullible. They are, genuinely wanting to help, right? So there are those who take advantage of that help for, their own self-benefit. You know what I mean? So that's the reality we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, without mentioning certain religions and cults, right? But they all do. I mean, I could start saying things about one cult. There's multiple cults that disguise themselves as Christian religions. I mean, let's face it. You know what I mean? This is a fact, right? If you don't know, then maybe we'll do a show one day and extend that dark hole. Sorry?
Yeah.
It was just confirmed. 6 dead, 73 homeless. Displaced from that fire.
Which will be one of many, Mama Bear, over the next coming months and years. The whole world at the moment is still not recovered from literally a decade of protests and rioting and inequality and oppression, right? So it's just going to multiply. It's a fact, right? It's just going to multiply, right? Because no one is fixing things; they're just making things worse.
Yep.
Well, they're making things worse by breaking things that aren't broken.
Yep.
But that's not what their job is.
That's what their job is. I mean, literally, they're there to create laws, right? The more laws they create, the less rights and freedoms we have, right? See, you have the right to do pretty much anything you want, providing it's not expressly forbidden in law, right? So unless it's expressly forbidden in law and it's written down, right, you can do it. So the more things they figure out, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, restrictions, limitations, the more you become basically imprisoned in a cage, like a little rat maze, and then you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't fart sideways, you can't. The fuck are you guys thinking about? Wait,
can't fart sideways. I've got to remember that one. It's illegal to fart sideways.
My brothers and sisters, my sister, we eat very plain and simple, the old-fashioned way. We'd rather have a simple salad.
Knife and fork.
Yep. And, when we, one of us go to the store, we'll call each other, do you need anything? Because, we don't live next to grocery stores. And we don't shop at the big grocery stores. We'll go to the farmer's market. And when one goes to the farmer's market, we'll call each other, what do you want from the farmer's market? And we buy a case of peppers, a case of tomatoes, a case of cucumbers. And then we come back and we'll call, hey, back to the farmer's market. And we all go to whoever's house went to the farmer's market and we split the case.
Yeah. Makes
And
sense.
you know, we buy the peppers, we buy the onions, we buy the tomatoes, and we buy the, you know, the lettuce and that stuff. And you know, the other day I was in Jitsi with Mellows and Grim, and I said, "Got to run to my sister's," because we bought peppers and onions and cucumbers. And I came home with a big bag of peppers and cucumbers and cauliflower and broccoli, and that's what we do.
Yeah. I like what you thought there, Anne-Marie. That's called family community values, Mama Bear, that doesn't exist much anymore here.
That's by design, right? The government, with all these limitations and restrictions and laws that they've created and brought in, has deliberately targeted the community, the values, the household, the atomic family, where you know your typical family would consist of a mother, a father, and you know X amount of kids, right? Now they are actively promoting, and they want broken homes. They want it.
Yeah, but what I was going to say,
the more control they have over you.
And
oh God, I wish I could have control over the panel sometimes. What I was going to say was the atomic family came out of all the crap that came out about potential nuclear war and what to do, etc. And they referred to families as atomic, and that is what the way that they installed the so-called 2 adults and 2.2 children. That's the atomic family. And that's been pushed down everybody's throats worldwide for years.
you know, and
Until it wasn't.
Yes. Because we came.
Well, I mean, we needed to rebuild the population after the war, right? So, you know, they encouraged, you know, large families. And there are still families today with 15 kids, man. Some families have got like 10, 15 kids in the UK. And they're all on benefits, every single one of them. They don't work, you know, they study all day. You know, it's their religion. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they've got large communities like this, you know, with like tens of thousands of them who don't work, who have large families, you know, 15 kids and so on, and none of them work, and they all on benefit. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, certain communities you're not allowed to speak about. You're not allowed to point that out. You're not allowed to tell people about this shit. You know what I mean? Because you know, you're a villain. You're a demon. You're a whatever they want to fucking paint you with.
But now my nieces and nephews, you ask them to pick up something. Oh no, gotta go to the lake.
No comment. For the change.
But you tell them there's a barbecue going on. They're the first one in line with the food.
What you mean, to eat it or to bring it?
To eat it.
I thought that you got to say that. That's what you call a freeloading family.
There's a lot of them, and most of them are in government.
Yeah. Oh, that is a freeloading family.
They are the largest part of the community that sucks most of the income. This is the reason why the taxes go up, because they make mistakes with our money that cost us, and they constantly vote for increasing in wages and benefits and all the other rest of it, and all their little extra perks that they manage to get hold of, right? And they continue to punish us for and make us pay for their lavish, expensive lifestyle, right? You know, and it never shrinks. Government never, you know, reduces and becomes, you know, let's just cut some fat. We don't need this department anymore, or this particular useless lump is just costing the taxpayer loads of money and he's not doing anything. Let's get rid of him. No, they won't do that.
When they started cutting the food stamp,
and there's a lot of nepotism as well in government. A lot of nepotism.
And food stamps was originally set up as a temporary assistance. It was never people were never supposed to live off food stamps. It was set up for temporary help. You were never supposed to live off welfare. It was never set up that way. It was set up as temporary assistance to get you back on your feet.
Yeah.
And people abused it. It was supposed to be, you could only be on it for 5 years of your lifetime. And when they started cutting people's food stamp assistance, oh my Lord, people were just crying. Oh, they cut my $5,000 food stamps. They cut my $3,000 food stamps. I can't feed my kids. You know, I'm sitting listening to people. I can't buy my soda pop. I can't buy my soda. I can't buy my Twinkies. I can't buy my candy. I can't buy my potato chips. It's like, you're kidding me. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, it's the way that people get used to it, and then because they scream and dance a lot, sometimes they get an extension, sometimes they don't. I believe that the state has the duty to look after everybody who needs it, and I don't agree. Sorry?
I think that's a generational thing. I think the older generations are much more grounded, whereas the younger generations are more entitled. You know, they feel that they are more entitled, whereas the older generations, they were the descendants of, you know, those that had nothing, right? That built everything up from scratch after the war. You know,
here they are with 4-inch nails, and they're manicured nails, and their hair weaves. And I'm thinking,
how much did that cost you?
bingo.
Yeah. Well, just getting back to what Mellows was saying, he said it's a generational thing. I agree wholeheartedly, but if you think about it, the generation who thinks that they're entitled now, when they become the older generation, they're still going to think they're entitled.
Bingo. That's what I'm getting at. The government has spent money on programs that are not needed.
Well, here's something for you. Here's a question I'm going to pose to the people. Okay, when somebody retires at whatever age it is, and over in the UK, of course, I'm referring to, really, and they paid in all their life into the state pension scheme, right, as it used to be, through the national insurance stamp, etc., right? Because the government doesn't have enough money to cover that, they extend the retiring age, and the next level is going to be 70. From 67, it's coming in a couple of years' time, right? Now, is it right that the government should try and delay? Because there are people who retire at 65, right? Which is, and they've carried on working in different things, right, afterwards to supplement their state pension because they are allowed to. Now they've removed that right away, okay, and they're saying to you, right, we will decide how much you're going to get based on what you already have.
Well, there's a reason why they're doing that, right?
Hi, James. Thanks for dropping in.
Hey, Jim. There is a reason why they're doing that, Grim. Yeah. And the you know, not to burst your bubble or anything, the real reason is that the money from all the pensions is gone, right? Just a FYI, all the money that they've invested is.
But they announced that, and the government of the day actually announced that, and that was one of the main reasons, because there's no more money in the pot, basically.
Yeah, they took the money and they invested it, and they lost it all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whether it was purpose, by design or not, is a matter of up for debate. You know what I mean? But you know, I would tend to go with criminal corruption for sure, right? They laundered that money through and stole everybody's pensions. Just they've done it before, you know. I mean, what was Maxwell up for? Remember when he done the pensions last time?
Yeah. That's right.
It's just another scam. It's just another day. It's just a Friday for these people, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Same
Thursday.
thing happening here.
You know.
Yeah, but you know what? The best of it was.
Pensions, the insurance policies. Everything.
Hang on, you missed the best reason that the British government said for making these changes was due to the population increase in the 70s and 80s. And as a result, the predicted people who are going to be retiring at age 65 and the amount that we need to pay is the money's not there. We haven't got enough. And that's the reasoning for these increases. Right, they say in a year or so's time, I think it changes again to 70. Right, and I know it's 67 now. I've got 2 years to go. Don't remind me.
Yeah, they're hoping in 2 years' time they won't have to pay out as much because people won't last that long.
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, it's going. No, it's AGM. I'm saying it's rising. They're moving it to 70 soon. So you're going to have people working an extra 5 years before they can officially retire.
It was 60 here. They raised it to 65. Now you still have to take your Medicare at 65 here or face penalties.
So now you're a criminal.
Oh, do you know what? The other reasoning for the changes, by the way, folks, was because women wanted equality and with retirement, and they wanted the same age. They wanted the men's age to drop to 60, same as them. So the government turned around and said, certainly we don't mind changing the age and under equality. Women now can, from such and such a date will retire at the age of 65, in line with what the men do. That was the start of it.
Imagine that insult. Women want equality, so they get so much equality that men can use their toilets, men can participate in their sports. It's so equal now.
Absolutely. That one change led to so many changes, right, with the pensions in Great Britain.
Brilliant.
So if the women hadn't have asked for it, right, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, it's your fault for wanting equality, right? Shouldn't have worn that mini skirt.
Get off. It's 67 here in the U.S. too. They're getting ready to raise it to 70 because we're going to be broke by 2030.
Broke by 2030? I don't think most of us are going to be alive by 2030, unfortunately. The way these lot are doing.
Yeah, predicted life age has risen. I think that, but shouldn't it mean that they keep upping the retirement age? Yes.
Look, according to the United Nations, they project the population of
I
Britain
know.
by
They have to blame the women for everything.
Hang on. Mama Bear, please. The adults are talking. Go on.
Oh, butt off.
Oh, sorry. So no. I only apologise in Jitsi occasionally.
According to the United Nations, Britain's population will decrease to around 15.
But remember, if we had
15
Gary,
million
you
people.
wouldn't be here.
You gotta love the Karen in the group.
Remember that. If we hadn't carried you, you wouldn't be here. Because you meant can't carry you.
Yeah, and so you carried a sack of potatoes around for about 9 months. Big deal.
You sure
Whoopee.
did carry yourself.
You're going to hold that over every man that was born.
So I don't know if you guys read that
Not the women.
agenda.
You couldn't carry yourself. We had to carry you.
She didn't hear that, did she?
I'm
Mama
ignoring
Bear,
you.
I love you.
I'm ignoring you.
Every time we start saying something, Mama Bear jumps in. Typical Karen.
Piss
I
off.
think you learned that trick from the police, didn't you? Over talking.
Piss off. No, I learned it from you. Remember that.
What? I don't
Huh?
overtalk people.
Huh?
I remember I've got the control button.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Do you like this in Jitsi, folks?
You caught me on a good day.
Today is a good day, allegedly.
Just breathe.
So, yeah, always. So, we started off talking about, the day Keir Starmer resigns as leader of the Labour Party.
That was a given. Right.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. It was just a question of when. My question:
how much damage you could do in the process?
And
Yeah,
he left the podium going.
And the number that's taking his place is not any better, right? We realize that.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Whoever is selected by the parliamentary party, right, not by the membership or anything, the parliamentary party, right, is selected as the next prime minister, right?
Allegedly, it's Burnham.
Andy Burnham.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, they're not going to change anything.
No,
And
he
this
can't.
Andy
No
Burnham
power.
is supposed to be more left-wing than Starmer.
Right.
He flip-flops. Everything I've read about him, he flip-flops.
People have got to get out of get out of their reality or the delusional reality that they think that they can vote us, out of this problem. You can't vote your way out of this problem. It's impossible to vote your way out of this problem. Every single one of those idiots that are up there getting attention, wanting to your vote, is basically owned by these people, by the same power structure, right? And here's a proof that they are owned, right? Because if they were to speak out against them, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't exist. They wouldn't even get a platform. They wouldn't have a chance to speak at all. These people have kind of monopolized the whole system, and they sell the lie, the illusion. They own the media corporations, the journalists, all of these people. We call them journalists. They're not journalists. There hasn't been any real journalists for a long time, right? Just propagandists, right? And now the new platform is this YouTube and TikTok shit. This is the biggest fucking brainwashing, moronic fucking place that they fucking have taken over. It's become a cesspit of brainwashed, delusional morons spouting propaganda bullshit, right? Just gotta be careful, man, because they're all brainwashed, every single fucking one of them, especially the ones that think they're awake. They're the dangerous.
So Keir Starmer
I
is,
got hair now.
yeah.
I do have hair now.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
I do have hair now.
We'll
You
get
can't
a.
call me bald.
So yeah, oh, well, you got hair back. That's great. It's fantastic. Actually, you're looking good. You are looking well. Yeah. Who would trust the Prime Minister, Hey Bullymore, who is an Everton fan? Oh, yeah, Billy Moore. Sorry, yeah. Listen, I've got a question for you. Right? Do you think it's going to make a blind bit of difference to the route we are going down as a society? Because what is being suggested is that his downfall is mainly due to having problems with internal divisions, challenges from other parties such as Restore Britain and Reform UK. I mean, they're seen as being right wing. Do you think that a left wing prime minister is going to bother?
Left, right, left wing, right wing of the same bird, right?
Yeah.
Red tie, blue tie, green tie. No matter what fucking tie he is. When he's in the government, he's in the government. You vote for
Yeah.
the government. The government always.
Well, we're not being, hang on, we're not being sexist here when they are in government, because you can't say he, because we do occasionally have female prime ministers. One of which is has the record of being the shortest prime minister, not just in stature, but she only lasted 48 days.
She did probably the most damage as well in that time.
Since Margaret Thatcher. Strange that, was another woman. But that didn't carry us.
She did. She resided. You're talking about Liz Truss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she resided over the pipe bombing, so she had a duty to intervene. Instead, she probably ordered the whole thing because there was some text messages that were released that she said, just as it happened, she said it's done. She text somebody over a fucking WhatsApp signal, some shit, and it was all public, right? And then there was the bank debacle where she removed the bankers' bonuses. So now, right, even though we're in a crisis and we ain't got no money, the banks, right, even though we put a fucking a cap on them so they can't get these bank bonuses. She's removed the bank bonuses, so these bankers now are getting millions and millions of pounds in fucking just over whatever. Just here you go. It's millions of pounds. And bonuses. Here's a bonus. £10 billion. Thank you. Right. So what's that? That means the banks are going to collapse again. Hello, motherfucker. Right. And then what do we do? Let's think about this wisely now. Right. So what does the government do? I know. Let's take our entire military arsenal that cost us hundreds of billions, if not trillions, over the years to collect and gather. And let's just give it to a fucking another country, right? And fucking use it all, right? So now we've got to buy more shit because we ain't got no shit, right? Great. Fucking brilliant. And then what? Let's just give these fucking contracts to foreign agencies. Let's not create our own companies that produce our own shit. Let's just get other countries in our shit and share our information with these fucking other countries that have no fucking interest in preserving or protecting our way of life. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Let's vote for these motherfuckers. Right?
And that was the lesson for today. There's very little I actually disagree with what you've been saying, but there again, I wouldn't have put it quite the way you put it, but that's just a matter of taste. Right, so are we in agreement then that it doesn't matter who gets in, it's still going to be the same shit, just a different day?
You can't vote these people out. These people who make the decisions are not elected, right? So the people that you elect haven't got no real power. So there's no point in fucking participating in that bullshit. You're just giving them justification and basically the authorization for the rest of us. You're authorizing them to dictate to the rest of us. Why participate? There's 70 fucking odd million people in this country. If no one voted, what would happen? I mean, seriously, what would happen? The end of the world. I mean, what's going to happen if nobody voted?
Technically, you wouldn't have parliament. But
Well, they would shit themselves, wouldn't they? They would seriously shit themselves once they've lost the whole fucking country's fucking trust. Now what? What are you going to do now?
But that it would never, ever happen.
If you think about it, out of the 100% of people who were on the electoral registers at the last general election, right, only 35% voted. So 65% didn't show any interest whatsoever.
So because they know that there's no.
And, I mean, when are they going to wake up and smell the cookie jars?
Nothing you can do, mate. Absolutely fuck all you can do. Same people are going to do the same shit whether you like it or not.
Yeah, all you're doing is just picking which flavour every 4 years. Blue, red, independent.
Which boot you want to fucking eat and lick? Whose boot would you rather suck on?
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are making out about how serious the situation with migrants is. I agree, it is serious. My issue with it is nobody thought to do a risk assessment originally, and that's the reason why it's failed, because we have no way of knowing who or what their people's backgrounds are, where they actually come from, because the majority of the time there is no way of identifying them. So whatever name they give us, that's what we put down. And we just assign them somewhere nice and safe for them, etc., but not with the surrounding areas. My suggestion would be that we still adhere to the Human Rights Act. We give them shelter, and shelter can be a tent, adequate heating supply, could be allowed to light a fire outside, right? And we put them in a designated, cordoned off area where they are contained until processed, rather than being put out into the community for God knows how many years and never getting processed and still claiming off the state.
Well, you got tons of old army bases that are all fenced in.
Yeah, well, it could be used. They could be used as a containment area. There was a place that they were going to be looking at that as an RAF, an ex-RAF base, and it was right next to where there was a school. And on the other side was an estate with loads of children. So it would work in some areas, shall we say, not residential, but definite. AGM has moved us on back to voting. Voting is a scam. It's all organised by them in power and not the politicians.
I've got a video for you if you want to play it, Grim.
It depends on whether it's YouTube friendly or not. And
well, it's on YouTube. It's basically a protest in Albania.
Oh, right. Is it a news article?
Yeah, it's actually a big story right now. I'll drop the link in the back.
All right.
So this is how they do it in Albania.
Okay.
So just to give you a little backstory on it.
I'll put it back to the beginning.
Yeah. Basically, Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, and Jared Kushner, her husband, decided to buy a really nice island off the coast of Albania. Not just the island, but they bought 5 miles of pristine, isolated golden coastline just opposite the island. And this whole area was a nature reserve, protected public space that people could enjoy, everyone could enjoy. And they managed, with their friends, the Rothschilds, they managed to convince the Albanian government to rezone the property and sell it to Jared Kushner. It purportedly has some old Cold War relics, like underground tunnels and stuff, and bunkers and so on the island. And in the area.
Okay,
So
I got it.
Yeah, and the Albanian people just, said, "Nah, we ain't having that shit."
Okay.
I was here in 2004. In 2004, 2 ribs were broken by the police. Thank God they didn't bring the police today. Why, we protect our land, the sweat of our parents, the sweat of our grandparents. It's a great pity. They are going to jail. They are going to jail. They should go to jail. Berisha, Rama. They opened the roads to Greece to us. We left. Why? So that they can get rich with the sweat of the people, with the sweat of our parents. And we took the roads of immigration.
There's one thing I've learned living in London: the Albanians, they don't fuck around.
Okay, I've got a question to ask on that one. Sort of.
I saw that. I couldn't stop cracking up, man. The way they just picked up the fucking container. You know how heavy a container is, man. These fucking savages, man. They're fucking animals, mate.
But the question got answered, really, but
they flung it off the side of the fucking hill like it was nothing.
First thing that struck me was, where's the police?
Well, they ain't fucking around. They were there last time. It was a big riot and a protest. So I think because of the cameras and the attention that he's getting, they decided not to go there in full force. They just let them do what they're going to do, and hopefully it blows over.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I just thought before today's announcement, right? I just remembered actually, President Trump on his platform Truth said that Keir Starmer will resign. I think within 24 hours, he did.
Well, they make the announcement to all other countries, the head people of all other countries. They make the official announcement so that they're all aware of it.
They call them stakeholders. So the stakeholders are the real citizens of the world. We are just what some call bouillon. We're just the numbers. We are not the people.
Yeah.
Power doesn't derive from us.
Yeah,
So
no,
the
it's the way that
stakeholders-
he said it. No, it's the way that he said it. He didn't say when or anything. It's just that he would resign before the next election. And I just thought, well, if he knew, then he's using that as basically a load of waffle to make him look big on social media.
Yeah, he needs to change the subject, doesn't he?
Yeah, or he's actually knows something and he's genuinely putting it out there, which he's not supposed to do.
No, he's a PR whore. So he's looking to divert attention and news away from him as much as possible.
Yeah.
Anyone he can throw under the bus, like Keir Starmer is, prime target. He's going to do it. I mean, that's what we expect from him. He throws people under the bus every time, right? So the heat is getting on with him. This is another reason why they didn't send the police in Albania, because they're so corrupt over there. The police would have just fucked up everybody there. But because of the attention that he's gotten around the world and Trump, they didn't want that to be, so they just diverted the story elsewhere, right? That's how they do. That's what they do. They just distract, divert, deny. This is all they do.
Every country does it. Every country does it.
The tactic.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. But, I mean, just to say, I just thought it was amusing. He said it one day and, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
It's like he looked into a crystal ball.
We all
like I
knew
said,
that it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. He was going to resign, but when, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. State the obvious, Mr. Trump.
It was imperative because he's spent, basically, he's burnt. It was imperative that he did as much damage as he could, pass as much law into Parliament as much as he could before he's comes out, and then the next person that comes into his place can divert and say, well, it wasn't me, it was him. Yeah, where is this from?
Yeah.
He usually do.
That was done so many times in the Conservative Party during their, recent tenure as the government of the day. They had more changes of prime minister than ever any other
We've done it so many times, we expect him to do it all the time now.
Yeah. I think it was Anne-Marie who said, really, if you think about it, if you have a change of prime minister, you should have a general election.
Yes.
Vote of no confidence.
Or confidence.
After what happened with number 10, with number 10 in the Epstein, we knew it was going to happen very soon. Very, very soon.
But as I say, a few questions have sort of been answered. Some haven't, and we're sort of like going to be looking from September onwards to see whether a change in our so-called ruler will make a blind bit of difference to.
July 9th is the cutoff for who is going to be put in the pool.
Yeah.
So after July 9th, we'll know. You guys will know who is going to be put in the pool.
Yeah. If there's only one person, then there's no need for any internal elections.
Right. So
but if there's a couple, then that'll start it.
Right. So then you'll know. So if Andy Burnham is the only name in there, I've heard of 3 names who I can't remember the other 2 names, but there is 2 other names that have been thrown around.
But yet to be confirmed.
Right.
Yeah. We won't know until unless they come out publicly and say that they come out the closet and they're going to be standing there for re-election, or
Well,
whether
they've put their feelers out, right? They've put out the person that they want, the Andy Burnham here, and they want to see how well he's received, right? If they can win back some of the Green votes, then they're in. They'll survive another term, right? If they can't, then they'll probably add some other name just to make it more confusing. But the main thing is that the party remains united, right? Otherwise, they will lose to Reform, right? So they can't afford to do that. And even if Reform wins, in order for Reform to assume government, it would have to create a coalition. And who are they going to coalesce with? Certainly not going to coalesce with Labour. They're going to coalesce with Conservative. So you're going to get the same shit whether you vote for this cunt or that cunt or the other. Same shit, right? And like I said to you in the beginning, none of them have any real power anyway, right? They have to go and grovel and beg the people with power and money so that they can get elected, right? So that they can get the funding that they need so they can run a campaign and get elected. And then once they are elected, they are beholden to these powers, right? They don't have any real power.
that'll be the phone.
Power is to lie to us.
And Andy Burnham was sworn in this morning, so as an MP.
Yeah. But he stood on the basis that if he elected, he would stand for the being prime minister.
Right.
And from a voting point of view, he more than exceeded what expectations were.
Yeah.
So you can view it that the public's opinion is, yeah, we'd rather have you than that idiot.
Yeah.
I always like to look at things.
He's failed as much as the mayor of New York City has. So the mayor of New York City hasn't even been in office a year, and he's got the lowest polls ever of any mayor.
Well, he was, I believe, if I remember right, he was mayor of Manchester. And I think then you got Boris Johnson, who was the mayor of London. It sort of makes sense to make it a bit of a tradition, but this time move north of Watford Gap. Put another ex-mayor in, say from Manchester sounds good because it sounds working class. Bollocks. Last prime minister to ever be of service to the working class. Most people don't remember.
Manchester, they picked Manchester because Birmingham was a complete disaster and it's bankrupt. Manchester is the only one that's practically, it's
still got money.
Well, it's literally tithering on bankruptcy at the moment. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul, in other words, right now.
Yeah. It's always the way it is. And why?
But
Because
it's not as derelict as Birmingham has allowed to be. And the real reason why Birmingham has had such a hard hit is because all the money that has gotten sucked out from Birmingham has gone into corporations, right? The large constructions, all that property that was handed over to the private corporations now that own it, who promised to open it to public use. There's a lot of I mean, they literally, remember the hospital? They knocked it down and moved it across the road and built it up again. I mean, what the fucking point was that, right? They did so many pathetic things. And the one thing they didn't do, of all the money that they filtered through that country, through that city, right? The canals. Birmingham has got one of the largest canal routes in the whole of the UK. It's literally the central hub for the canal routes.
Yeah.
And they've let it go to shit. They haven't dredged it. So I'm literally visioning, like some serious contamination issues arising in you know, in the waterways.
Yeah,
around,
they haven't
across
got the
Burnham.
money. They haven't got the money because they've misspent it.
It's because they've wasted. Yeah, they've literally laundered it out of the public purse. Do you know what I mean? They've literally sucked it out. The country, the city at the moment is bankrupt, and it has been for how many years now, right? They built museums and auditoriums and all this sort of money with, you know, with private partnership, right? Where most of the money and the property was taken from the public, right? And then these corporations come over and take over these places. You know, they spend so much money on the NEC, the airports, the train stations, all of this stuff. They basically took out large contracts and gave it to friends of theirs who contracted the work, who didn't really do the job good properly, and we've been paying for the repair bodge jobs that they fucked up in the first place, right? Because they know that we're just going to foot the bill at the end anyway, right? So that private partnership is all bullshit, right? So basically, the private partnership is this, right? You fix the rails and the networks, and we buy these fancy little trains that run on them. You pay for the maintenance of the trains, and we profit from every passenger that comes along, right? Brilliant idea, right?
The theory sounds good.
Brilliant, yeah.
But reality,
shit.
well, I still don't see how anything's going to change. You're not convincing me.
Well, but here's another one for you, right? The water companies up and down the country, right, are now just literally just pumping out. They're waiting for a bit of rain to come, and they just literally release the sewage back into the water supply. So the rivers, the ocean, the coast, especially on this side of the island, is literally just full of shit, right? Because they're fucking pumping out all this shit into the water, right?
Yeah.
Well, not only killing off the wildlife, it's killing us off as well, right?
Yeah, but I mean, do you know why they stopped? Birmingham Council stopped looking after the waterways. That was because they built Spaghetti Junction and they put it up in the sky instead. So now all the maintenance goes on that because
The whole reason why they
that's where all the traffic is.
The whole reason why they privatized it is because they sold us that it would be better in the hands of private companies who would make sure and maintain and do this and do that, and they would be regulated and strictly, and oversight and all of this bullshit. And
Message for you, Mellows.
Themselves, the fluoride company. Don't get me started with the fluoride, please.
That's almost bad as Bill Gates.
Look,
It's something
fluoride, right? Let me just say this: fluoride, right? What it does to your brain, right? It makes you cognitively dumb, right? It dumbs you down, basically. And they figured this out back in the Second World War in those fucking illegal fucking concentration camps that they were using to experiment on the people, right? They figured this back then. But ever since, they've, with the aid of the pharmaceutical companies, have convinced everybody that it's a good idea to stick some fluoride in your mouth and brush your teeth with it every fucking morning, right? Brilliant idea. Great idea. Great fucking idea.
Hang on. And some would say, allegedly, that Mellows has had more than he should have had of fluoride, given what he spouts. Think about that one. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. A Scouser calling somebody a brother who's not a Scouser.
The Vatican doesn't care for Trump.
No, even though it's an American Pope.
It's just a show, man. It's a WWF show, man. What it is. Doesn't like him. He doesn't like him.
Well, World Wildlife Fund. You said WWF show. World Wildlife Fund.
World Wrestling Federation.
Oh yeah. I remember them.
Yeah.
They call something else now.
The pretending fighting. You know, I'm gonna beat you up and slam you on the ground, and you know, that's what it is. It's just a fucking wrestling match. It's a bogus, fake wrestling match. When you see them Keir Starmer and his adversaries, all blah 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 blah. It's just a fake fucking wrestling match because they're all funded backed by the same fucking greedy corporations, right? I'm not the only one that sees that, surely.
No, I agree totally with what you're saying. Us Scousers are just the same as many other UK communities back in the day.
These people wouldn't have a platform. They wouldn't get elected if they weren't selected. They were already selected before they were fucking elected, right? Put it that way.
Oh my! No.
Is the illusion, right? The sell that they sell to us, that they convince us that it's a democratic process. When we all know there's no democracy. Democracy died years ago, right? Years ago. There is no democracy. When there's no free speech, there's no democracy. Full stop. When the minute you destroy somebody's ability to fucking speak freely, you have no democracy and you live in a slave nation. Right?
Yep.
People died for that right.
Yeah.
They died for the right to offend people and say words that hurt feelings, and hurty feelings are not crimes, right?
No, just feelings. AJM. Last time, well, you're talking about communities back in the day. There were more hubcaps found in Scousers communities than anywhere else. And you're right, you know. Now there's more spare wheels in Scousland than there is anywhere else. Because the other three got away. Sorry, mate, couldn't resist it. Yes, Mellows, you are perfectly correct. And the trouble is, well, I fear for the youngest generation that we have at the moment. I'm talking about, say, 0 to 5 year olds. When they grow up, what's the world going to look like for them? And
I'll refer back to that story, that rant that I read earlier.
No,
Imagine this now, right? We collect all of our data, all of our medical data, and put it in the hands of these private corporations, right? Now, imagine for an example, this rich billionaire who has access to millions of people's medical data, right? Decides that, hang on, I need a replacement heart, right? I can just flick through all the compatible I've got a whole fucking database here I can sift through and see who's got a fucking heart that I can just nick.
You're talking about Dr. Frankenstein.
Right? This reality is not a future. This reality is today. People need to realize that.
Yeah, but you see, you are talking about, as I say, Dr. Frankenstein flicking through to create himself in this case.
All in the name of protecting children, right? Which, in fact, this very system that they want to shove down our throat will be basically make our children even more vulnerable than they already are, right?
Well,
because that information about them, where they are, what they're doing, what they're looking at, what they're taking pictures of, everything is in the hands of the few. Those few who just so happen to be sick fucking PDFs. You know, it's coincidence. No, I don't believe in coincidence.
Here's a conservative statement. Until the world is full of lefties, there's no one with common sense left. There's always hope, and that they will have a better future than what is currently.
You know, there's a responsibility and a duty on each and every one of us, I believe, right? To ensure that we leave this world a better place than we did when we came into it, right? And I'm failing at that miserably right now, and I'm not the only one. I'm on the planet with 9 billion people who are severely failing at leaving this world a better place than it was when we came into it, right? So someone, somewhere has to fucking change that shit, right? Because we're on a trajectory of no return, right? into a dystopian nightmare that none of us will survive.
Well, we're well on the way, unfortunately. And as I said, right at the start, changing the name on the door of the Prime Minister of the country is not going to change what's coming, because they've already been selected, put in place, and they are told what to do, when to do it. Although I cannot prove this, it is only a theory.
I can give you plenty of receipts that will prove my theory.
You don't normally say things unless you can prove it, so I'm not going to doubt it. But I honestly don't see that this change is going to make a blind bit of difference that's going to be happening. And I think that it's really all part and parcel of what's coming. You know, a Labour Prime Minister that's lasted 2 years.
Don't call me doom for no reason, bro.
Well, you see, you're not. Trouble is with, doom is gloom, and that's where we're in. And we've let it happen over the last at least 50 years.
With our indifference.
Exactly. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I think it would be the late, getting into the late 80s was the last time there was any serious thought process. Unfortunately, that came from the lefties, but they were right at that point. We allowed it to happen. We allowed the state to take over. And we voted for it every 4 years, 5 years to stay that way. Anyway, folks, you know my rule. I never do a live much over 2 hours unless I've got a real audience of more than one. But time to call it a day for now. I just want to say this is the only place when we go live on the day and at the time advertised. We don't delay it. We don't delay it twice. We don't delay it 3 times and never show up. We just deliver. So until then, the next time, when something pops up and I think I need to discuss it, I'll come back in. But it's been great knowing that some of you still got me notifications. One final word from Anne-Marie. It's probably been that long since what's happening now was put in place. That shit on immigration was interesting to watch from back then. Yeah, a lot of things that Thatcher did was very interesting and started us down the road that we're in now, unfortunately. But hey ho, that's what you call capitalism. Any last words, Dr. Doom? Try and be joyful.
I just
get him every time.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I'd love to say something encouraging and inspiring, but
you can't, so you won't.
Yeah.
Hey, here's something encouraging, folks. Just remember, tomorrow is only going to get as bad as it was yesterday or worse. That's encouraging. Mama Bear.
Just breathe.
Yeah, stay calm, breathe.
No, don't worry about that. Just remember to take your next breath. Don't hold your breath too long. Act now.
Hey.
All right, folks. Thanks very much.
I found out in the last week that I have a heart, so I can say just breathe. Next week, I'm going to find out if I still have a brain, because I'm going to have another CT scan of my brain. So I'm
You're doing your foot.
Brain. So I found out a couple weeks ago I still have lungs. So
well, that's a good sign, isn't it? They might not work, but you got lungs.
Well, they're still working because I'm still breathing.
Yeah, that's because your brain's still ticking over.
So,
That's all it's saying is breathe. Just breathe.
so I'm
But
still
your heart
here.
must be working.
My blood work's doing good. I'm still in treatment, and I'm doing good. So,
Well, I'd like to say how I feel, but you know, Dr. Doom is you know, I feel the same way. It's all doom and gloom. However, what I did do, because I thought it'd be a bit of a laugh, I have an overgrown back garden, or I did, of grass and whatnot. You know how the missus likes a garden, etc. Even though part of it is astroturf, I didn't realise, but grass actually grows underneath, and then comes out. I've got a strimmer and I've trimmed it all down, ready for a little bit more work. So over the next couple of days, while it's so hot, I've tasked myself, unfortunately, with finishing it off.
well,
So-
we had so much rain here, and I've had a tornado come through my area. Between tornadoes and rain and windstorms,
Yeah, but hang on a second. That's over where you are. There's other areas in the US which have probably had wonderful sunshine or snow.
Because it was not a windstorm. It was classified a tornado that hit my area.
All right. Well, these tornadoes can just turn up anywhere, can't they?
Yeah, it was
And
classified
for no reason.
It
Right,
was
folks.
classified-
All I can say is hopefully nobody was seriously injured or worse. Carry on doing what you think is right and don't let the bastards grind you down.
So,
Mama Bear, thank you for hopping up and talking to us. I know that it's good to hear that you're doing reasonably well. You know, you're
good as
breathing.
expected. I have good days and bad days, but I am
Yeah.
driving for a couple days, but I am doing good.
And then, of course, we've got the Reaper's nicer half, shall we say, of this duo of doom and gloom, Mr. Doom himself, Mellows.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
me.
coming up. Really appreciate it. AJM, Anne-Marie, and everybody else who has participated in the chat. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the likes as well as all them. I got 2. Cheers. Take care now,
Bye.
folks. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
One, two, three, four! We'll fucking run! We'll fucking run! chucked on a blanket so the women and kids couldn't see. His battered banana hanging out his pajamas, enough got to come, stain of shit on his sheets.